And I want to thank you for tuning in on this Saturday evening. I want to welcome in the new members and the old members who have found their way back to the community. I need you just as much as you need me. I appreciate you if you've come back to this live. I tried to do one just a few minutes ago, but for whatever reason it got tied up by YouTube. I wasn't able to see anything on the comment side or much of the anything, so I had to restart it. So hopefully we have an audience here this evening. If not, we'll deal with it as we go, but I suspect that it could hurt who's going to be here. So I'm just going to go about this as if I'm just doing an update, and if we get an audience, so be it, after the way I had to shut it down, and we'll go from there. So with that being said, I'm going to do the intro and then we'll get into this. Good evening, 7:25 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Saturday, June 22nd, 2024. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. John Hall, welcome, and I appreciate your due diligence in coming back. Mosey here, welcome, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XRP Predictor. So, a couple things we're going to go over this evening. We're going to obviously look at the XRP price analysis, as XRP is pretty flat on the day, up, down about 0.35%. Not much movement this entire weekend. Mark Caston, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 3 months plus with the XP Meteor. Trading with J Ride, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the XRP 589 Moon Badge. And yes, everybody, please hit that like button. It is very, very important on this live, seeing that I had to close the other one because I couldn't see anything. So I didn't even know if I was live or what was going on. So please hit that like button so YouTube recommends these lives. We really, really, really need to get the word out so that more and more people can find this community. We have a lot to offer. You all have a lot to offer in the audience as well. So I believe it's our due diligence here. We can get the word out to as many as possible. Donald Troop, welcome in. Good to see you in here as well, my friend. I appreciate the kind words. UK Phil, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 3 months with the XP Meteor. I greatly appreciate seeing my friends out here in the audience this evening. I wasn't able to share this on Telegram or anything because it wasn't showing my live. So if some of you could share this for me, I would greatly, greatly appreciate that gesture. So as we can see, XRP, we'll talk about that today. We'll talk about the price analysis. We'll go over, I do want to talk about one thing that I want to read about the Ripple CEO and what he said about the latest court ruling out of California. And he called so I'll give you one guess about the CEO who's talking about this, but he says the lawsuit was baseless and a troll attempt. So we'll go over that. There's a few other things that we'll read through the news as well. How 51 million XRP managed to find its way off of Binance. So that's 51 million was shifted by whales. As they continue to buy. They continue to buy despite the lack of price appreciation. While it's been set in this consolidation, whales continue to buy. Whales are not being hurt by this proposition. The only ones through the misinformation and the obvious deception and the lack of transparency by Ripple is retail is not necessarily seeing what they want to see, or they're not buying in for the proper reasons. They might be buying in on a pipe dream instead of what's really happening out in front of us. So that you want to be very, very, very vigilant on what we're looking at here and what's going on, not just within like the XRP community, but what we're seeing across the social media, what we're seeing within the court cases, what we're seeing within the adoption and the acquisition phase, what we're seeing during this entire accumulation of XRP, and what's actually going on. Kryptonian, welcome in along with Light Switch Tom. Thank you both for being in Tom's Army for over 3 months with the XRP Meteor. I greatly appreciate you finding your way back here, both of you. So first things first, let's get a little baseline on the XRP price action. 777 DW Brown said heard XRP spiked to over $240 and it sold. Nah, I didn't see any of that. No evidence of that on the charts either, unless it's on different charts that we're not privy to. Humaid, welcome in, my brother. I'm doing good, friend. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing well as good as well, my friend. I'm having a pretty good day. It's been a pretty good day. Kind of sucks how YouTube did me a little dirty on this first attempt at the live, so I can only imagine that the ones who are showing up are amongst the most dedicated, because I can't imagine many of you are reading or receiving a notification on this second attempt. Chance Williams, welcome, and it's always a privilege to see you in the audience. So XRP right now still within the same short-term consolidation. We still have this range right now, and I think it's easier to show you in this fashion. So this is the range we're in right now. So basically for resistance in the little bit of a longer term, and it's not that long, but compared to the other chart I was showing you, we still got the range of 51.4 cents and down here to about 46.5 cents. This is the smaller consolidation inside of the cup and handle. So we just have to, from a standpoint of where we're going to get some information, that's the first thing. We're inside of a much larger cup and handle. We break it down more micro, and that is the range right now that started just a few short, let's see. This started back in the beginning of June, end of May. And then if we take it just a little bit smaller, we've got this little uptrend that's formed here. And we've got a pretty stable resistance up here, and it's like 50 point, if you look at it just like this, I like that resistance. That 50.5 is a big, big area. It really is a big, big area. But XRP stuck in this little consolidation. There's not much more we can say until XRP starts breaking outside of this. We could be coming up to prove that we have some support here, and we can rally by getting a rejection on the RSI and pushing back down. But it remains to be seen if we're going to get that volatility to the upside or not. Let's see. JW, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. Bob Burtner, welcome in. I gotta see what that said for the badge next to your name, Bob. I think it was the 3-month badge, but I definitely have to see. I have to see that badge to see what it says. But I do appreciate everybody making the attempt to find the way here. I really, really do. Like I said, it's always difficult when YouTube's not cooperating and they shut down your stream right away, and then you got to try to restart it. But yeah, Bob Burtner, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 3 months with the XP Meteor. Julie says, I wish you could see T trying to see you through the door. And Julie, thank you for being in Tom's Army for over 3 years with the XRP Diamond Hands badge. I'd love to see more people with that, but you have to be in Tom's Army for 3 years to get that badge. So thank you, Juju Fish, my significant other, for anybody who's new. So yeah, the short-term consolidation is one thing with XRP, but we do have the grand patterns. So it's not like we have to guess what's been going on in the recent history with XRP. Even if you go back to 2018, this is still an active downtrending resistance from all-time highs. And the last time we hit the downtrending resistance is back here on May 12th. This is the uptrending support from March of 2020. And it's always very important to show this grand pattern, because this is what we're working within. We've been working within this pattern since January for the resistance and March of 2020 for the support. So this pattern's been going on well over 80 months now. Well over 80 months. So one way or the other, we're either going to come down to the point of reckoning, or XRP is going to bounce before. In the weekly time frame, we still have a very bullish reversal candle here, the long leg doji here, and it's squeezed pretty tight in the middle. It's squeezed pretty tight in the middle. If we could get it to pull up past 50 cents, it's more bullish. The bottom side of 49 cents, it could be more of a bearish proposition. If it could start off a little, weak to start next week, but we still have about 24.5 hours before that plays true. So we'll have some time at least to see the market makers which way they want to push this, because I make no mistake about it, the market makers always have a deep hand in all of this, and it becomes a little obvious after a lot of just a lot of being a part of the market in general. You start to see what ends up happening with the intentions of, I like to call them the trading bots. Some people don't like when I call them trading bots, but honestly, a lot of stuff that I see, it could only be done by a trading bot. There's no way that you get the same up and down from not just XRP, but many, many other cryptos. But each individual entity has their own way of using their own specified algorithm. And I think, with crypto, that's why we don't want it regulated either. You don't want a regulated market, because then that kind of stuff goes goodbye-bye. It's just that simple. It really does go goodbye-bye. And those volatile swings up and down become a thing of the past after a while. So I like the market unregulated. I know there's a lot of bad actors, but there's bad actors in the regulated markets. The stock markets are the worst of all. So I like where we're at right now. I like the time we're at right now. I love the accumulation time. I very much have a hard time once the price starts gaining traction, because then you lose out on the opportunity. I like it when nobody's around. When nobody's talking about XRP, when the buzz has died down, that's what I like. And the funny thing is, the narrative has shifted a lot with XRP. From the savior token, this is the one that can save your generation, just generations down the line, that this can help you with some generational wealth, that this will help the generations next, your kids. This will help, you know, with maybe a less than savory financial look right now. You invest in XRP and it can change everything. That's gone from invest in XRP and it can help transcend your wealth, to invest in XRP and you're the biggest schlub on the block. That's how the narrative has changed. And most people buy with the buzz. So when the buzz starts to die down, you start to lose the buyers with retail. That doesn't mean whales are going away. In fact, the whales continue to buy at an alarming pace, while retail is nowhere to be found. And it's a pretty scary proposition. It really, really is, when there's such a lack of voice in retail. If you are watching, please make sure to hit that like button so YouTube can recommend this live. I really, really need your help this evening, since it gave me a problem trying to do this live. I always need your help. I always need your help, because the amount of people that are excited every day to get up and talk about XRP, let's be honest, those people are starting to disappear very quickly. And until we get some kind of real price appreciation, the biggest fear is that many, many, many more will just give up. You know, and I don't really want to see a day when there's more people that hate XRP than like it, but I think we're already there. Now, we are so very early in this process. Like, think about it this way. You could look at it as XRP sets up a showdown. As far as the XRP, the ledger, the RLUSD stablecoin, XRP setting up a showdown with the US dollar. And there's the optimist, there's a reason why you could look at it that way. Look at how the US dollar is severely overinflated right now. Countries are taking they want to take out of the US dollar for petro. They're going to a more gold-backed dealings when it comes to Saudi Arabia. So in time, the US dollar is going to be devalued. Something's going to have to take the liquidity pool. See, money doesn't just die and go to money heaven. And the US dollar is not even money. Things end up finding their way into different asset classes. And currency, when it's deemed to be not quite sufficient, that buying power, that pressure, will always find its way into real money. It's happened over the centuries before, and it'll happen the centuries after us. All you have to do is go back in the past history. When the native currency runs out of buying power, that bit of wealth always finds its way into real money. Always finds its way into real money. So yeah, there might be, hey, your $100 bill, you might need 10 of those now, you know, to buy a bagel if we go the Venezuela route. But your 1 ounce of gold would still be able to get you through very, very high times of uncertainty. See, that's why they don't want you to know about real money. And we talk about this often on this program, why real money, silver, is the most undervalued resource, or most undervalued commodity in the world. But, you know, I understand. Nobody wants to hear about that. Nobody wants to hear about real money. You know, we like to live in our fairy tale land where, hey, we've got a bit of paper currency and that's all we will ever need. Like, look at the difference in the buzz right now. If XRP went up to 90 cents tomorrow, there'd be thousands of people watching. Not just my channel, but just across the board. You'd have hundreds of thousands of millions of people flood in. These lives are jam-packed. Today I didn't expect much because YouTube shut mine down. But you'll notice, when there's a lot of buzz, it brings in a lot of retail. That's the cool thing about XRP. You need buzz for rallies and for exit liquidity at the top. And there's no bigger buzz in town than when XRP is actually doing something of significance. There's more people that come out of the woodwork, and not just buyers, influencers as well. It'll make your head explode. It'll make your head explode. But there's a reason why. It's popular. XRP, when it's moving, is one of the most popular cryptos you will ever see. It's on the same level of like the Doge meme coin and things like that when Elon Musk starts talking. But the community is deeper when it comes to XRP. There's a lot more expectation here. There's a lot more that we know is on the horizon, assuming you study this on a day in and day out basis. There's times where we can sit back and we don't really have to pay attention to much except to buying or selling. But there's also times when you have to pay attention to so much more than the price analysis or the price action. And right now, so many people are caught up in the price that they're not even realizing the overall capitulation that's taking place right now. You understand we've capitulated down for more than 6 years since 2018. That's not a joke. And until this recent 1.5 to 2 year spout, we haven't even shown an effort to have any real kind of breakout. We did have one push in 21 to $1.98. That was a 9-day rally that got up there. Didn't take much longer to come right back down, and it never touched that area again after it corrected. The highest it could get back to was $1.73 roughly, and then that imploded all the way down to 28 cents. So we have never ever been able to make that massive rally like we did in 2018. And what happens is during these long sustained bouts of consolidation and continued downtrend, and in this case it's a descending consolidation, which are bullish when they get through the consolidation, but it's a matter of when, where, and how. When, where, and how. Those are the three key questions you can when, where, and how. What's it gonna take for the buyers to come into XRP? Is it gonna take an outright settlement? Is it gonna be an outright victory, not a settlement, or just a win by virtue? Mike, I agree. Silver is king. I do. I agree. There's so much you can do with silver. There's so much you can do with silver. But before I talk everybody's heads off, let me read this, because the Ripple CEO hails latest court ruling a big win, calls his lawsuit baseless troll attempt. And I've got a lot to say, everybody. I even got to switch up my title when it shut me down. And on the fly, that's what came to my head when my YouTube, after 2 minutes, I had to shut off my first attempt at this live. That's what came to me. And I think this is going to be a much more motivational live than it would have been if that didn't happen. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. No. I got to reread that comment. But yeah, no, you can't. Once you start investing in the hardest part about buying an asset, whether you're in the stock market, whether you're buying a commodity, whether you're in crypto, Forex, I don't really care where you're at. The hardest part is understanding where to make that first initial entry. Sure, if you buy it way up and it's 80% up and then you don't even get a chance to do anything, and before you know it, you're down 35%. Like, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the proper buy-in attempt, the initial attempt, because then it's about the accumulation after. So you've got to be secure in the fact, hey, if I buy it here, if you're looking at something and you're like, hey, you know, I have a buy-in entry, but this is my stop loss down here. You might as well not even buy it yet. Just wait for it to come to the stop loss and then just buy it. Because if you have a stop loss on it, it means you're not secure in the fact of where you're buying it. You'd rather it be where your stop loss is at. And that's a big lesson I can give you for futures trading. If you buy an asset, and let's just say you throw $100 on it, and you do a 10x trade. If you buy XRP, let's say at 30 cents, and you're looking for a 10x trade, but you're like, I can't possibly hold it past this make it or break it spot at 29.6 cents, don't buy it at 30 cents. It's in your best interest to just wait until it goes down to your make it or break it line, and it'll save you more on the backside, just in case it does break down, or you can just watch it come through. But when you buy, you can't just be like, oh, I have to have a stop loss here so I can get out on the first sign of trouble. No, if you're buying a spot trade, you're buying it in the support area. You're buying it after a long, substantial downturn, after a bull market, and that's exactly what we're doing with XRP. Not every crypto can make that claim, because not every crypto has been suppressed as much as XRP. It's one of the only cryptos in 21 that didn't even sniff a new all-time high that was part of the bull run in 2017 and 18. You can't make that shit up. It's true. There's a reason why I love XRP, and I don't even have one iota of hate within my bones with it, because I know the elite don't want retail in. And by them not wanting retail in, what does that mean? They've got to keep the price suppressed at a level to where institutions can buy in, but retail doesn't see the point. You see, it's a big difference when you're pushing a lot of money, millions of dollars upon millions of dollars, compared to one of us who are pushing a few thousand, maybe 10 to 20,000. You know, even if you're pushing, it's a lot different game. We're talking about 10, 20, 30,000, maybe some of you have 70, 80,000 tokens, compared to 1 million to 1 billion token holders. It's a big difference. When the million and billion token holders are still increasing their holdings, it makes me fun. It makes me happy. 777 Explore, I've always been afraid to sell because I know as soon as I sell, it's going to go up and set. No. See that? Okay. That I understand. But don't be afraid. No, you don't have to delete it. I actually appreciated that comment. Don't be afraid, though. I tried to email you with the address you gave out, and it rejected, saying it is no longer active. That can't be possible because I still use the same address. Maybe I typed it in wrong. Let me go into the live real quick, and I'll put it in the bottom. I'm sorry. And it's very possible during a live that I could have typed it in wrong, and that happens from time to time, and I do apologize. Let me just, that's it right there. And if you had the same one, I apologize. I don't know what happened because I still have the same one, and I've had it for a very long time. Juan's Way, welcome in. Happy Saturday to you, brother. I appreciate seeing you in here. I appreciate seeing everybody. I didn't realize 80 of you found your way in here, and that's a miracle for me. Only because it shut down the first stream, and it's never easy. Jantlina the Third, welcome in. Thank you for being in Tom's Army for 1 month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. Yes, sirree, Bob. That's my face superimposed on that emoji badge, and I thank you, Janthony. That was the first person to join Tom's Army this month and get that the first new member to join Tom's Army and get the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. So just consider what I'm saying here, everybody. Consider what I'm saying. If you're one of the 80 people watching, please make sure to hit that like button so YouTube recommends this live. If you stick around past the analysis, I am going to go on the exchange, on the HOTCOIN exchange, and I'm going to show you exactly how to set up the copy trading. I'll show you exactly how you have to do the stuff in the futures. And if you're like, well, what is he talking about? Make sure you look in the video description below and or pinned comments. If you're looking to trade XRP, there's HOTCOIN down there. I'm doing a futures thing with the community, just $100 to start. I'm giving everybody a chance to sign up. I'm running out of patience though, which means I'm getting more and more eager to make a trade because I'm seeing stuff set up. So make sure if you're gonna do this and trade on HOTCOIN, don't just sit around and do nothing. Trade, try to invest, try to advance your wealth in the best way you know how, through trading. We're all here so often, do it through trading. And you can take your pick. There's HOTCOIN in the video description below and our pinned comments, and I'll give you some reasons why I like that. The first one in the link below in the video description below and our pinned comments, that's for USA. The one below it for HOTCOIN is for the world, the rest of the world, overseas. So make sure, depending on where you live, you click on the right one. Their spot and leverage trading fees are minute. They have so many different tokens and ecosystems that it's such a great expansion from BitUnix, which I still use, and that's also in the video description below and our pinned comments. If you would rather use BitUnix, I just can't do copy trading on there in the USA. It won't allow me to do it with my audience. So, but there's a lot more tokens on HOTCOIN. There's a lot more userability and function where we can buy different tokens. It's that simple. And then there's also BLOFIN, which if you prefer that, I'm going to do the same amount of copy trading on that exchange as well. I'll do it the same way as well. And you can choose which exchange you want to use. BLOFIN, you're in control of your money. So even if the exchange goes away, this is the new frontier that's coming. And we'll talk more about this later on in the live. But that's also in the video description below and our pinned comments. But BLOFIN is basically, you're going to put your money on there, and it's going to be in your own hands until you decide to put it in the spot or in the futures or whatever. It's being held separate. So you have to choose to bring it onto the exchange, because if the exchange goes away, you have a layer of security to where they are not the holders of your crypto. It's a little bit different. So take a look at that. Either way you want to go, fine by me, because I'm going to do copy trading on both, and I've been approved on both. So yes, the blow, you can use BLOFIN. I'm like, I got to make sure I got the name right. Yes, BLOFIN is actually much more easily usable overseas. USA, it's still very easy, no VPN and things like that. But from what I've been told, it's much more user-friendly overseas. But yeah, I'm really excited. I'm starting to look deeper into these exchanges and what they have for us. And some of them, like the BLOFIN, that's the next layer of what's coming. So I'm trying to give everybody the options that I use. And as you see me over the years, I'm becoming more in depth and more deeply invested and starting to understand from a deeper level. So Ripple CEO hails latest court ruling, a big win, calls his lawsuit baseless troll attempt. So Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse says the latest, I wanted to see what Jeff said. Says the latest court ruling on Ripple Securities lawsuit is a big win. He stressed that absolutely nothing in the decision negates or changes the fact that XRP is in and of itself not a security. The Ripple executive slammed allegations of misleading statements about his XRP position, stating that the lawsuit was a clear example of the trolls that unsuccessfully tried to take advantage of the U.S. legal system and distort statements to seek hundreds of millions in class action settlements. To be absolutely clear, this is a big win. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse took to social media platform X on Friday to clarify the recent court ruling regarding Ripple Securities lawsuit. U.S. District Judge Phyllis J. Hamilton of the Northern District of California granted Ripple summary judgment on the federal and state class claims, but denied summary judgment on an individual claim under California law. This partial win for Ripple has caused some confusion, particularly concerning its impact on XRP. There have been numerous misleading and some factually inaccurate headlines describing the decision made by a California judge yesterday in the class action lawsuit about XRP, Garlinghouse wrote. The executive affirmed, to be absolutely clear, this is a big win. Absolutely nothing in the decision negates or changes the fact that XRP is in and of itself not a security per the New York court decision, emphasizing that all class action claims in the suit were dismissed. Garlinghouse stressed that the California court's ruling dismissed all allegations that Ripple had somehow violated federal security law by selling XRP. On Friday, Ripple's chief legal officer and 777, I've been always afraid to sell because my luck, that it will never go back down to a buying. I completely understand that. That's why I always tell everybody, XRP holding it should be outside of your other assets you hold. What you do with XRP, it shouldn't, if you put everything into XRP and impede you from buying something else, you know, that's why we have to keep it to its own, kind of got to keep it to its own thing. Yo P, welcome in and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I told you so badge. And Jeff says you were keeping, I read your message just now on what just came across saying that you kept it simple on the email. I will get to it and I will look at it after I get a chance here later this evening, Jeff. Thank you for taking the time to send it. But something else that's of note, there is the situation where now state by state, they could try to rule XRP as security. That's something that's come out of this though. We're starting to see that, and that's why I put it in the title. We might have a scenario where each individual state, they just might start to come after it, especially the more, I don't want to say Democratic run states, but the ones who are more hard pressed against crypto. And this is the US as a whole, because when you go into a digital system, it's gonna impede on the US dollar, and that's the plan anyhow. Don't let them fool you, but you got to make it a dog and pony show here. So, you know, there is a chance that state by state they could bring up some kind, you know, of lawsuit or something, some kind of security claim against XRP and Ripple, to where state by state now they might have to get it thrown out, which would be, you know, even more cost to their budget But it's not unthinkable that that could be where we're heading here. Now that California is doing what it's doing, would it be so hard-pressed to believe? Oh, I don't know. Maybe Chicago. Hell, even my great state of Michigan could go that route with who's in charge now. I wouldn't be surprised. On Friday, Ripple's chief legal officer, Stuart Alderodi, similarly explained that District Judge Annalisa Therese ruling from the Southern District of New York regarding XRP stands undisturbed. The Ripple CEO proceeded to clarify the situation regarding the lawsuit that is heading to trial. In this lawsuit, the plaintiff alleges that Garlinghouse made misleading statements about his XRP position during a 2017 December interview. In the interview, the Ripple chief stated, "I'm very, very long XRP as a percentage of my personal balance sheet." However, the plaintiff claims the statement was false, alleging that throughout 2017, Garlinghouse sold millions of XRP on various cryptocurrency exchanges, according to court documents. See, this is where the lack of transparency can hurt investors. This is single-handedly where the lack of transparency hurts investors very badly. When you see, and maybe you were trying to make your investment, and please make sure to hit that like button. 58 of you have hit that like button. I'm greatly indebted, but we need to hit that like button. That's the only way YouTube will recommend this live. It's the only way to continue growing this audience, and I believe we have a lot of value to offer for the XRP communities. Our community stands out because we're open, we're honest, we take the positivity over negativity approach. We're helpful, not hurtful, and most of all, we are not the victims. We don't pretend to be the victims here, and we'll never claim to be the victims or play the victims here. We are the winners. That's why we take our due diligence, and I read through things like this every single day so we can try to pick out the minute details. We go through the charts at a minute level for a reason. There's a reason why I tell you exactly what I'm doing every day, because we need to be transparent. So misleading statements about this XRP position during so yada yada yada. So Garlinghouse clarified on Friday, as for the single state law claim that will now be scheduled for trial, the sole plaintiff didn't buy XRP directly from Ripple and can't say if he even heard the statement before he traded and only owned a couple hundred XRP described. See, this is why transparency is key. If Brad Garlinghouse wouldn't have uttered those words saying he was long, and then there's proof that he was selling during that time period, which even if you're long, that doesn't mean, see, this is where we get caught up. He's long, that doesn't mean he's not still long. But understand, if you've got XRP under a penny and it goes up to $3.50, of course somewhere along the line you're going to take profit. Anybody would. So that's where this doesn't meet the eye test, but you don't ever want to go on record and say I'm very, very long and then have a record showing that you're selling, because that's going to lead, okay, so that can lead to the wrong, how do we put this? Stereotype or stigma. How about this? The stigma around Brad Garlinghouse will be, oh, he's selling his XRP. He lied to us saying he's long so he can get a better price to sell. Not understanding he's got millions of XRP, I'm assuming, still locked away. So anybody who's trading, if you are a trader for any length of time, you can't tell me that if you bought XRP, let's just say you bought it at half a penny and it's up to $3 and something cents, you can't tell me you're not selling some along the way. I wouldn't believe you. Even if you're the longest person ever on XRP, let's say you put in 10 grand at a penny, and all of a sudden XRP's at $3.80. That 10 grand, I don't even, what is that, 3.8 million at that point? If I'm thinking of this right. So what if you made 3.8 million and you sold off $1 million and you still had 2.8 million left? And you only put in 10,000. I mean, that's what I mean. You can't judge a book by the cover unless you read the whole damn book. We don't even know the whole book yet. It's still coming out in documents. We're only told what we're told. Now we have to read it if we have the diligence to actually look deeper. I told you this was going to be a more passionate live. So anybody who is in this live is getting my these are my deep thoughts that I have about XRP, Brad Garlinghouse, Ripple, the CEOs, everybody, David Schwartz, all of them that are involved. This is what goes through my head. That's why we've got to be more transparent on their side. Got to stop with the riddles, and they've got to be much more transparent. And they can't try to hide behind the court documents and try to make it to where the public can't see it and have it redacted. Can't do it. You got to give us the real scoop. It's all we want. as an investor, as somebody who would be buying anything, even if you're looking to buy a shovel, you're going to want to know what kind of shovel it is. What can it dig a trench? Does it dig a hole? Is it for the sand? Is it for the clay? Is it for the mud? Is it for the grass? You know, you want to know if it's made of plastic on the top or, you know, if it's of a good build or a shitty shovel. You're going to want to know, just like with XRP. We want to know the dirt. Good, bad, or indifferent. I would have much more respect if they just told us it all and said, the hell with it. Hell with it. Buy us if you like us. If you don't, go fuck yourselves. I wish they would just say that. Either buy us or don't, but here's the damn truth right here in front of you. And no, you don't have to go to the white papers to find this. We're going to be transparent with you. No, you don't have to wait for a yearly newsletter to where we incriminate ourselves on accident. Which is basically what they did last time. I have definitely 777 DW Brown. I've noticed Brad has become much more bash lately. He's been very vocal. Very vocal. Yes, 777, you have to wait it out for sure. No, and the whales, they're not going to make any money either if they just, like you said, they've got to be diligent as well. So Garlinghouse clarified on Friday, as for the single state law claim that will now be scheduled for trial, the sole plaintiff didn't buy XRP directly from Ripple and can't. So we just read this. So this was a clear example of the trolls that unsuccessfully tried to take advantage of the U.S. legal system and distort statements to seek hundreds of millions in class action settlements, the Ripple CEO concluded. Regarding any misleading statements, I stand by what I said. What do you think about the clarifications by Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse? So that's a good question. But what I think is, this is just more of the same bullshit. If we would just be more transparent on the front, from the top, we wouldn't have to deal with a lot of this nonsense. So now let's go into some other charts. Right now, HBAR, it's 8 o'clock. HBAR is at the 770 level, or 778 level. It's back tested perfectly in that daily candle and held it so far. The back tested this descending breakout. It back tested it now. And now the question is will it give way at this 776, which I've identified as a double bottom here. You can see it in the 4-hourly. We did come down just a little bit farther here to make it a little bit farther of a bottom, if in fact it is. But we could also, if we look at the 2-hourly, this, okay, so it's tricky because technically we could come down to 774. But if this wants to continue its integrity on the structure, and it wants to start to play out, maybe it's doing something like this, and then it does this, and it plays out maybe as an inverse. But if it does that, it can't come down to here. So now what we're looking for is at least if it consolidates back down to hold this back test. That could get you around the 7-7 layer. So John Deaton is running for Senate in Massachusetts. If he wins, it is a boon for XRP. Yeah, it would be. It would be. I mean, you want as many people on the inside as possible. The one thing because we had a V-shaped recovery, but the one thing that we have to look at is, could that be a left shoulder, head, right shoulder not broke down, and it could come all the way back here? I don't know. We'll see very quickly in the short term, but if we look at the daily time frame, we found ourselves in an area where we are oversold, but we got rejected on the bullish continuation. So right now we're trying to get a little more support here before another attempt. So it's going to be tough to say, are we going to run or are we not going to run for HBAR? But it's definitely setting up at some point here. But it is breaking a little bearish here in the immediate short term. But if it bounces off 7762 area, it would be a great start. That'd be a great start. Otherwise, it very well might find its way back here at 7693. And we'll have to continue to watch this. So I'm excited about HBAR. Severely undervalued. And like I said, it's got at least a breakout attempt. Now, the breakout attempt doesn't need to be successful, but right now it's trying to confirm the back test, which it's already trying to. And if we could get a surge of buyers, it could get on a little bit of a run here. It's just right now we're lacking the buyers. And even in the 30-minute time frame, it's a little bearish. 15-minute is going to follow the same bearish way. So if you're asking me, you could take a shot here at around the 776. Or just wait and see if it comes back down to the 7.7. If it comes back down here, it's a few more percent down. That's not even a whole percent. That's about 1% from there. So, I mean, There's a chance it could come back down there, and this could be like a head and shoulders pattern. It comes down to support. There's even a chance it could break through. So, but it is back testing, and it's been doing it for quite some time here. And you always want to see a back test as consolidation before the next breakout. And if it bounces off here, it's going to be a nice bounce. So watch HBAR, as I'm very excited about that. Casper, I was able to get into a run on it on $3,500. But unfortunately, when it got rejected up here, I had to sell it because I'm not looking to ride it back down. It was at 2146. If you're in my Telegram, I was very transparent about it. 15 minutes falling bearish or oversold. 30 minutes pushing back up. Daily time frame was extremely oversold, but got a little bit of relief, but it's still massively oversold. We very well could be on this breakout attempt here, like we were talking about HBAR as well, but this is the downtrending resistance for Casper. And I'm not done with Casper. It's just I didn't want to ride it back down on a dual rejection. And I actually made, so that's that. So if you're watching this, we need to get back over, like we talked about this morning, around that 214 level. Otherwise, we could find ourselves falling back into a bearish fashion and bring ourselves all the way back down to 2019 area. So that is possible right now. So we need to watch that. AMP. I talked about it in my update this morning, and it was up about 1.2% this morning. I talked about how I had bought when it was down 0.75%. I was able to sell for 22% like an hour and a half later. Went on a nice rally. In my Telegram, I told everybody when I sold. And I think it was just an opportunity that was starting to present itself. It's on the top side of that downtrending resistance, and I only have the resistance there because that's the only thing I see as very important. I know we could put the actual consolidation, but that wasn't important to me because we were already breaking out of it. So we needed the downtrending resistance so that we could see if we have a back test where we would have to hold. And what made it so, I thought it was an easy decision. In the daily, it was so oversold that it made it for an easy trade this morning. Now it's come back down, much like AMP usually does, and that's why I'm so quick. So that's where we have to watch. We'll watch this in the immediate short term to see if it does in fact hold this 462 area, if it does come all the way back down. But right now it is on the outside attempting to try to push up. So I just wanted to make sure I covered that very quickly. We've got the XRP Bitcoin pairing, which I still believe is very undervalued. It's just it was going through a bout of consolidation, so I decided to get rid of this, only momentarily though, at 763. And then I went into Casper and I split $1,000 of it into AMP, which ended up being a great decision, or $1,060, because it made me $240 a day. Casper made me about 6.2% on $3,500. So it was a pretty good day as far as the spot trades. But now I'm looking for the next opportunity. I really, really am. I really, really am. And I see a big opportunity developing here with the XRP Bitcoin pairing. And it's just a matter of where that next level of oversold comes. And right now we've been struggling here to maintain this 20-day, and we've had a bearish cross here in the hourly. So I don't know what's going to happen here because we have a low trading pool right now, and it's a thinly traded weekend until tomorrow. But it is possible that XRP is absolutely working on this inverse pattern, and it came through, came down, coming up. It's possible that we do something like that to bounce out. It really is. We always do things that end up in a weird way. This bull flag played out absolutely perfect like we thought. But now that it's played out, now we have to see if there's some kind of strong hold here. We need to find out if buyers are going to come in. We had a more bullish candle after what looked like an inverted hammer, but we're unstable. It very well could come back up and get a rejection here to push back down. And that would be a way to hold support, so that could drag it down here a little bit. But it's very uncertain. We're kind of stuck in this cat and mouse game. Ripple has had a partnership since 2015 lawsuit. It absolutely is fake. I agree with you there. The whole thing is fake to me. The whole thing reeks of just nonsense and utter BS. If you guys do appreciate my work, consider joining Tom's Army. I'd love to see more members in Tom's Army. Or send one YouTube super chat per month if you'd like to pay it forward. It's a great gesture to be shown by the audience, as I don't do any paid promotions, advertisements, or sponsorships. I don't charge for any of my content. Mainly, I don't like anybody to not be able to get information if they solely desire it. You know, I'll be here every single day, good, bad, or indifferent. Even today, I'm thrilled that we have over 70 people watching. Because with YouTube shutting down my first live after a couple minutes, you know, it's very hard to get people to come in here. So I really appreciate that. I agree, Kryptonian. It is. The Ripple lawsuit is a test. I absolutely agree with that. A lot of people say, well, what's the test? Oh, it's a test of the incoming system, in my opinion. It's a test to see what kind of pull individual, let's just say individual players within this digital space. I think it's a big test to see how far the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission can push their overreach, to see how willing us as citizens are going to be willing to take in if they do put in regulations into the crypto market. Me personally, I don't want it. I don't want it because I know what happens. Once you regulate it, it's over. Yes, yeah. On the left-hand side, when it pulls across, that's the live chat, so that I don't have to, I have the option on my tablet to show live chat popping up on the left. So that allows me to not have to look at my phone and be able to still look at everybody's comments. So, and I try to keep it in the most professional spot. But yeah, so the big thing here too is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is at 64,334. It's been flat, but we've talked about it many times. It's very possible that we come down and retest this pennant flag breakout and retest it at around 61K. That's where this inverse right arm could come all the way down to without invalidating. It really, really could. It really, really could. Now, if you come back within this pennant flag, it's an issue, but look at the daily. It's already trying to eat towards the oversold. So if it does get one more layer of consolidation, you're going to find yourself once again into a very oversold predicament. Does look like an M-topping reversal here, and it's pulled down almost a complete way. It already pulled past where it broke up here. Now there is the chance that it could, like I said, come down to the 61,000 area. It could come down where the pattern started to rise out of the V-shaped recovery, and then when it started to pump. I mean, it very well could come down there. And the farther it comes down, remember at 63,000, about 1.3 billion of longs get liquidated. At 73,000, over 9 billion would get liquidated from shorts. So what's the odds they come down to 63K and then pop up to 73? If I was a conspiracist and I was looking at this a little bit deeper, I might be inclined to go that direction. Like, what does everybody think in the audience? What does everybody think who stuck around in the audience? There's still 74 of you. What do you think? Do you think Bitcoin will come down and liquidate the longs at 63,000 and then go back up and push 73K to liquidate all of it? That's what I want to know. Thank you, John. I try to be a trooper. Is the heart the like? No. So the heart, that just, the heart, I mean, it hearts on my live, but if you're trying to like the actual live video, you got to do it on YouTube side and hit the like button. I don't know why the heart doesn't do anything. Like on TikTok, it counts as like likes outside of the actual likes, like within the in-stream likes. But on here, it doesn't do anything. Manipulation is all over the map. It sure is. So that's what I'm looking at for Bitcoin. Is it going to come all the way down to 61? Is this inverse head and shoulders going to play out of the pennant flag after a back test? We do have a bearish cross in the daily just starting to pronounce itself on Bitcoin. So is that what's going to play out? And if that plays out on Bitcoin, does that bring everything else down? Like HBAR, I think that's setting up in a nice spot. I really, really do. It's just a matter of, with HBAR, it's on the back test right now. So you're going to have to take a leap of faith if you want to buy it. You know, I'm not saying to buy a futures, but if you're trying to buy a spot, it's 1% down to the, if it has to come all the way back to here at 7.6 area. That's 1% from where we're at. So, you know, that's something you got to ask yourself. Casper is another thing you have to ask yourself. Like for me, I had the initial ride of just over 6%. Makes me a little bit nervous with the way it closed out. 4 hourly looks a little bearish. But my question is does it come to 2019, hold that area, and garner more support? Like, that's what I want to know. like with Casper, so I reserved the right to see. It tried to break out, but it failed. Put in a little bit of a bear flag at the top, and it's playing out that way now. It's not a huge one, and it's basically satisfied that consolidatory need. So pay attention to everything we're going over. XLM right now is up 0.28%. XLM fell outside of a long-term consolidation, and a rejection here is important. If it gets rejected here, and I don't know if it's got enough steam to come all the way down to 4.2 cents, but there's a really real case to be made that if it fell out of this long-standing consolidation for XLM, it could cut in half. Cut in half. If I'm being honest with you, Jeff, I don't get approached by other influencers. They always say, if you're willing to tell the truth, the circle is very small. If you're willing to spread lies, you are very widely known and accepted. See, I don't cater to everybody. So instead of streamers reaching out to me, they tend to bash me, which I'm okay with that. But I would be interested. Absolutely. Absolutely, but I'll be honest, not one single influencer besides like Crypto Mentor a couple years ago promoted me in a very nice way, and I've always done the same for him. I think he's awesome. Derek Plaza, when he was around. Those are two that I really liked when they were around, you know, especially Derek when he was around too. And he was somebody that I would have considered, you know, doing a stitch with. He was probably one of the only ones. But it would depend if somebody actually reached out to me or not. I would absolutely try to push the content. You know, they might not like me because I might call them out on certain things, especially from a charting perspective, but I would think that it'd be, like I always said, if somebody only did like news content and they needed somebody for charts, we should be partnering up together, not in a financial way, but as in, hey, I'm doing the charts here and this person brought out some great news. Let's hear what they got to say. And they could be like, well, to their audience, if you need to see it from a more technical position, let's hear what he has to say, and then you can go follow. That's the kind of partnership I'm looking for, you know, that we can help each other. But it's very hard to do on the, you know, with influencers. It's very hard because most of them have paid partnerships and they want all the pie to themselves and yada yada yada. John says, I love your honesty covering one of the hardest cryptos ever. It is very difficult to cover XRP. It is. It is. Because a lot of what we do is based on the views. And I'm just blessed that we've been able to push over 22,000 even in this very slow time in crypto, especially with XRP. But watch this for XLM because it's below a very critical support. So we really would like to see XLM push back over that 933. So right now, XLM, in all intents and purposes, this could be undervalued right now because it's fallen under an important structure. If it's meant to hold this and rally, that's a nice area to buy it. Crypto as a whole right now looks like after the flip. Ooh, I love seeing that with the HBAR. I love seeing that with the HBAR. Because me personally, as some of you know from the Telegram, I was looking at HBAR. And I've actually bought this line. I actually bought this line around 776. And I want to see if it comes below 7. I don't mind a 1% drop. I don't. I really, really don't. So we'll see what happens with HBAR. But I believe it could be closer than we think. But remember these short-term rallies at the start of a flip of the clock? It could be just it could be psyching us out here. And then it ends up reversing quickly. But I would like to see some kind of rally. I have 40,000 HBAR for transparency. I was hoping Tanya was going to be here because I told her that I was getting ready. And now she's not here that I can see. So, but if it comes down below that 77, 7695, down about 1% from where I bought it, you know, then you could you could look at it and be like, you know what, it's just not the right time. But there is something to be said for that pattern that's developing right now for HBAR. But with crypto as a whole, it's difficult right now because everything's been so slow this weekend. It's just been stuck. The XRP market cap's up $38 million or 0.14% to $27.092 billion. And for all my friends on the UK side of town or overseas, I've been very hardcore considering not just doing my lives at 6:30 p.m. and this one was later, so that's why we're still on. But I've been considering for my overseas friends around 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is about 4 hours from now, daily, to do about a half-hour live. And it won't be an hour. Hell, it could be between 15, 30, 35 minutes, depending on the back and forth. But I want to just get an update out there in a live fashion for the ones on the other side of the world who might be asleep mostly for these lives. You know, I want to really branch out so I can help more than just the USA side. I know I help all sectors, but I want to do a live, even if there's only 25 people in there at 12 a.m., to kind of touch base with the other side of the world. I always love seeing different sectors and seeing different sides of things. So XRP, we had that rising channel in the market cap. We broke down out of it and we formed this pattern consolidation within. And we're still well within it. It's kind of like the XP price action. Right now, the market cap is between 25.79 billion and 28.3 billion. So it's within a 400 million range. I think that's what it is now. It's closed within about a 400 million range. 25.8, not, or 3 billion range. I'm sorry, I don't know why I said 300. 3 billion range. Seems like a lot, but it's really not. It's really tightening up here. So, and we really are being beaten down by this 20-day here in the last few days. We haven't even been able to press in the last week 28.12 billion. So we're going to have to watch it and see. We really need this downtrending resistance to give way before the uptrending support. If the uptrending support gives way, we find ourselves around 22.5 billion. So pay attention to that. And then before I leave, I want to go into real quick, because I've had a lot of questions. If you're on HOTCOIN, I just wanted to go in here very quickly. And I wanted to, here, let me hide my balance so not everybody sees it. I wanted to show this. So if you're doing the copy trading, you have to go into futures. And like for me, you have to put the money through the futures. So as you can see, I have $500 in my futures trading for futures trading. Now, I'm going to take this 500 and I'm not going to just, I will always open a copy trade. So for me, when I go into my lead, I can see there's 27 people following. I haven't made a single trade yet. But if I want to make a trade, I can initiate leading trade, and then that's how I do it. But you have to put it in your perpetual futures account. You have to put it in the futures account. You have to put it in the futures account, and then your money, you will end up being able to, it'll end up being tied to the copy trade account. And you have to do all the specifications yourself, because I can't see, like, for profit percentage and all that stuff. But as it goes for the copy trading, you know, like you can see, there's nothing I've done on here yet. Nothing. So that's basically all I can show you from this end. These are the different pairs that we can trade. There's a lot of them. So, but these are the different pairs that are available right now. You see XRP, you've got Matic, you got Filecoin, AV, ADA. We've got a lot of different ones we can choose from going forward, and they'll have more pairs that end up getting put onto here. But there's a lot. There's a lot, and I love seeing how many followers are going to be, how many followers are going to end up. There's 27 right now. So make sure you have everything set up through this. And then if you're on BLOFIN, which I also have it set up on here as well, make sure you look in the video description below and our pinned comments. And I'm going to give you your choice of, you know, what you want to do. But in the futures account, it's the same thing. You have to put the money on the futures in order to be set up for the copy trading. So, and like for me, I have to go to copy trading. And then this is how I'd make my copy trade on here. And it's a very simplistic thing. And I advise you guys to use these exchanges for more than just my copy trading. BLOFIN is the next big thing that's actually coming to fruition here. With to where you're not actually lending your keys to the exchange, it's actually off-site. So even if the exchange goes down, you've got ways to get your stuff back. It's that simple. You can send it out. So just pay attention to everything I said. I'm gonna go help Julie. I know this was a different kind of live. I hope I answered some questions by pulling up the exchanges. And going forward, we'll be on the exchange more. We'll talk back and forth. In the video description below and our pinned comments is HOTCOIN, there's BLOFIN, and there's also BitUnix if that's where you prefer. I don't trade on any exchange that takes a VPN for you to trade or requires a KYC. I don't do that when I am talking about this stuff. And yeah, it's just been a nice live here. I know we had a very diligent audience. No donations tonight or no new members of Tom's Army, but it's not about that. In time, you know, I would hope that more of you will join Tom's Army, and maybe some of you will send a YouTube super chat. But right now, I just need your I need your eyes. I need your support, and I need you to share this and hit that like button. Have a blessed evening, everybody. Thank you for trying to bear with me. I know it was a little different because YouTube fucked us on the first time around, but at least we stuck it to them and made it an hour. Stay blessed.